Sir Thomas, nice of you to drop in.
I didn't drop in. I was dragged here.
Well,
I was right in the middle of a thumping good haunt. I was rattling the chains and sticking my head under the arm, and suddenly I was dragged here.
oh, I am sorry.
Well, you should be. You ruined my night. Well, you better have a damned good reason for dragging me away from my haunting.
Yes, I think we have a very good reason. Those summonses we sent you 3 times.
What summonses? What summonses?
The ones warning you that if you don't stop ignoring the new haunting code, you will be forced, and we will be forced, to take serious action.
Oh, that's a load of rubbish. It's a joke, isn't it? You can't honestly expect any self-respecting ghost to take any notice of your stupid rules,
Oh,
can you?
yes, I can, Sir Thomas. It's the new law.
Oh, come on. It's just a load of namby-pamby bureaucratic PC rubbish.
I think you misunderstand the situation, Sir Thomas.
Oh, I don't think so. Who exactly are you, anyway?
St. Gladys, patron saint of bureaucrats, pleased to meet you at last. Everyone in the department's been talking about you.
Oh, yes? Play safe with the HAC, Haunting Safety Executive? I thought as much. Just another useless, money-wasting quango.
No, Sir Thomas. Quite the contrary. We are here to help you and your ghostly needs and friends. Or should I say ghastly fiends. To avoid haunting accidents.
I don't have any haunting accidents. I have been haunting the same house for over 500 years, and I've never had an accident.
Maybe not to you, Sir Thomas, but by you. Plenty of your victims have run away from you and your haunting in sheer terror. Some of them have fallen down the stairs. Others have... defenestrated themselves by jumping through windows.
Painful.
Yeah. And some absolute idiots have put their backs out trying to copy you tucking your head underneath your arm, indeed. Yes, I'm afraid your haunting techniques have caused an awful lot of accidents to poor innocent people. There have been dozens, nay hundreds, of broken bones and multiple fractures. It's got to stop.
Multiple fractures. I'll give you multiple fractures. How about having your head chopped off, eh? That's what happened to me, you know. Head on the block, chip chop, no head, stone dead. That was me, so don't talk to me about broken bones and multiple friggin' fractures.
Oh, come along, Sir Thomas. That house you love to haunt was turned into a hotel over 30 years ago.
So what? So, why should that stop me from haunting it, huh?
But it's full of innocent tourists now, and they're all scared out of their wits by you and your haunting.
Rubbish. They love it. They come flocking. Oh, haven't you seen the TV ads? A spooks tour with every booking. Come and hear the awful rattling of bones. See Sir Thomas Pilkington walk through walls and haunt the spooky corridors with his head underneath his arm. Bloody marvelous. And of course, they come in their hundreds to see me do my ABBA renditions.
Your what?
My ABBA renditions. They're apparitions and ABBA songs put together. I sing a few numbers from Mamma Mia. It's not very highbrow, but it does get bums on seats.
Well, we've heard otherwise. We've heard it gets backs on hospital beds now. Look, can't you spare a thought for the poor tourists? It wasn't their fault. You had your head chopped off. You shouldn't have taken liberties with Anne Boleyn's bodice.
No, you're right. That's the one night I should have had a headache.
Well, you won't get one now, will you? Anyway, don't you think walking through walls and rattling your chains is a bit old-fashioned these days? Not to mention walking about with your head tucked underneath your arm.
Well, I must admit it does give me arthritis of the elbow, something chronic, and got a pretty big head, you see. It's actually difficult to tuck it under my
Well,
arm.
there you are then. It's time you gave up all this haunting nonsense.
But I love it. First thing I did when I passed over was get a certificate in ghostal practice. It's true I have proficiency in haunting first class, city and ghouls.
When did you get that?
When I graduated the Spooks Academy in July of 1535.
Oh, it's out of date now then.
No, it's not. Things haven't changed that much. It might be the 21st century, but walking through walls and rattling chains and making like a poltergeist are still the most effective methods of haunting.
Nevertheless, Sir Thomas, your sort of haunting is outdated and it's got to stop. It's against the law now.
That's ridiculous. What harm can there be in rattling a few chains and walking through a few stupid little walls?
Well, no harm to you, maybe, but plenty to other people. You're violating their human rights.
What about my human rights? Being dead doesn't mean you haven't got any, you know. Anyway, I know my laws. I'm fully protected by the European Declaration of Ghosts and Apparitions.
No, you're not. It's defunct. It's been superseded by new haunting code.
Typical bureaucratic interference. You lot can't leave anything alone, can you? Well, I don't care. Walking through walls is good fun, and it's totally harmless.
No, it's not. Look at that high court judge in 1827. He saw you walk through his bedroom wall.
So what?
You know what? He tried to go after you to serve a right for trespass and broke his nose on the brick wall.
But you can't count him. It wasn't my fault. Blame his milliner. He couldn't see where he was going because his black cap fell over his eyes. It's not
Nevertheless, there'll be no more walking through walls or rattling of chains or, for that matter, pretending to be a poltergeist and throwing things around.
All I do is chuck a bit of crockery, a few saucepans around the kitchen. There's no harm in that, is there?
Of course there is. It's positively dangerous. You could have somebody's eye out with all those flying cups and saucers.
Look, you don't understand. If it isn't dangerous, it isn't any fun.
Well, it's out. No more playing at poltergeists. The new regulations make that quite clear, and the same goes for your chain rattling.
No, I don't believe this. What have you got against my chain rattling?
Plenty.
Oh,
Plenty. It really grates on my ears. It's worse than that chalk scraping on a blackboard.
well, maybe I'll pick up some WD-40 next time I'm back on Earth. That should take care of any of the scraping.
Read my lips, Sir Thomas. No noisy chain rattling.
All right. How about if I get some brand new chains? I've seen nice ones in the Argos Academy and maybe the catalog, and they're made out of aluminum, nice and light.
From now on, haunting chains must be made of rubber.
Pardon?
Rubber. They must be made of rubber.
Why rubber?
They're the only ones that meet the new HSE regulations.
I do not believe this is happening.
I-
Why should rubber chains be any better than iron or aluminium?
They're much quieter. Under Section 42, subparagraph 89 of the 2008 edition of the State Haunting Code, henceforth, haunting chains must not make a noise exceeding 10 decibels.
But that's the whole point, the noise. Haunting chains have got to be noisy or you can't haunt properly.
Okay, but not too noisy. 10 decibels is the absolute limit.
But rubber chains won't make any noise at all.
Correct. Well, almost correct. It says here on the test results that they make a faint rubbing sound.
Yes, well, that's my point. A faint rubbing sound. How can I strike terror into my victims' hearts with a very faint rubbing sound?
My point precisely, Sir Thomas. There's got to be an end to all this striking terror in the victims' hearts. It's not civilized behavior.
What's that about? All right, not civilized behavior. Striking terror into their hearts, making them tremble with horror. I'm telling you, you can't have a good haunt without striking the fear or the terror.
Oh, come along, Sir Thomas. You have to move with the times. From now on, the whole business of haunting has to be a pleasurable experience.
Well, For me, maybe, but not for the victims. For them, it's got to be really horrible. That's what makes it so much fun. That's why I love it.
No, it has to be pleasurable for your victims, but let's not call them victims.
Well-
Let's call them guests.
Oh, I do not believe I'm hearing this.
Guests. Yes.
Well-
That's a much better way of describing them.
Let's get this straight, all right? My haunting has got to be a pleasurable experience for my guests.
Yes. Precisely. You're beginning to get the idea, Sir Thomas.
What's the point in haunting them if I'm not allowed to scare them? You've taken all the fun out of haunting, you have. You've made it all completely meaningless. There's nothing to look forward to anymore. My whole existence is meaningless and pointless and without point.
Come now, Sir Thomas. Pull yourself together. It's not so bad as all that.
Yes, it is. In fact, it's worse. You've now made it impossible for me to do my work. I haven't even got a job now anymore.
Oh, you'll soon find another one.
Says you. You don't seem to realize how difficult it is to get a job when you're over 500 years old, especially when you're dead.
Oh, come on. There's plenty of jobs about. Why, we had an internal memo only this morning. Oh, where was it? Here it is. Yes. The government has just created 3,000 new jobs in the civil service.
Doing what?
Dreaming up new quangos and regulations, and of course, some wonderful new stealth taxes.
I can't apply for those jobs.
Why not? You just said you're unemployed. You can read and write, can't you? And I take it you can drink tea.
Oh, well, yes, if I must. But I keep telling you, I'm 512 years old, and I'm dead.
Yes, I know that. But the civil service will never notice.